Hey guys, welcome back to Describely. Today I would like to discuss about integers in Python. So here again I'm in Visual Studio Code and let's define an integer. Okay, so for the sake I'm just going to say age equals to 65. Okay, so this is how we define an integer value to a variable. Okay, and if I print this, then you can see the value, and I also want to print the type of this particular variable. Okay, so these two things I'm just going to print. So to print, you can open the terminal and we can go inside the integers project, and here we can say python 3 main.py. Okay, so here you can see that this is printing the value of this particular variable, that is age 65, right? And also it's saying the type of this particular variable is class int. You can define integers like let's say age and let's say price. So price you can say let's say 10 rupees, or you can also define the temperature minus 4 degrees centigrade, or not 14, 4 degrees centigrade, and you can print these things by running the same command again. Oh, it's not saved. Let me save it and run it again. So you can see the 65, 10, minus 4, and all this, right? Now let's discuss the maximum and minimum limit of an integer in Python. Okay, so we can say max and min size of int in Python. Okay, so let's check on the official Python documentation. An integer giving the maximum value, a variable of type pyss size underscore t, can take it's usually 2 to the power 31 minus 1 on 32-bit platform, and 2 to the power 63 minus 1 on a 64-bit platform. Okay, so if you want to check what is the allowed size in your machine, so you can just check this by using this sys.max size. Okay, so sys is a module, so that I am going to import here. So we can import by saying sys. Okay, import sys, and then we can say max size, and this is going to be sys.max size. And if you want to check the min size, you can say min size equal to sys.max size minus 1, and you can put a negative value here. Okay, so let's print this. So you can say max comma min, and if I run this python 3 main.py, you will see this is the maximum size of the integer that this particular machine supports, and this is the minimum size of integer that this particular machine supports. Ideally Python doesn't have any limitation language wise, but it's limited by your platform where you are running the Python code. Now let's see the base of an integer in Python. Okay, so we can say base of int in Python. So you can say age equals to 100. Okay, so you are setting this 100 value to this particular variable age, and the type of this variable is going to be int. Okay, as we saw here, and by default it's taking the base 10. There is another way you can define, let's say age 2, and you can also say use this int built-in methods given by the Python. So you can also say age 50. Okay, so this will also set the value of this age to 50, and this is also going to be an integer. So let's print this and see how it's looking. So we can say age and age 2, and also I'm just going to print the type. So if I run this, you will see 150 is printed, right? And both has that class int, and that is the type of this particular variable. So they both having the same class. Okay, so till now whatever we have, whatever variable we have created, right? Age equals to 100 and age 2 equals to int 50. These all variable is having an integer with base 10. What if you want to work with a different base? Okay, so let's talk about that. So let's say if you want to work with base 16, so there is two things. You might need to convert base, let me just put a comment here, base 10 to 16, or sometimes you might need to convert base 16 to base 10. So these are the two possibilities, and here you might also need base 8 or base 2, whatever is required. So the process is going to be same. So I'm just going to explain the base 16, and then I will quickly copy and paste the code for other bases. Okay, so let's say if you want to convert base 10 to base 16, so how you can do this? For this I'm just going to convert this age to base 16 representation. So for this task, we can say age hex. Okay, so age hex will be, you can use the hex method given by the Python. So this is a built-in method given by the Python, so you can just put the age here, and this will convert your base 10 to base 16. So let me print this. So if I try to run this code again, python 3 main.py, you will see this is the 100 is 64 in base 16. Okay, and if you want to convert this hex again in base 10, how you can do this? You can use this int method. Okay, so I will just show you how. So let's say age converted. Okay, so for this you can just use the int, and you can just pass the age hex variable here, because this is containing this hex value, right? And if you want to check the type of this hex value, so you can just put here age hex, and before using this I just want to print it again. So you can see this is the hex value, and the type of the hex is string, not an integer, because in x is not an integer, right? So that's why it's a string value. And if I want to convert this particular uh, hex value to an integer, then I will say age hex, and if I try to print this, what will happen? Okay, I got an error. It says invalid literal for int with base 10 0x64. So what does this means? This means when we don't specify the base of an integer, right? It's taking the base 10 by default, as I said earlier. So here we are passing the base 16 value. So for this we can say base 16, and if I try to run this code again, you will see 100 again. So we converted our age value from 100 to 100 with base 10 to 100 with base 16, and again we converted this 100 with base 16 to 100 base 10. And if you want to learn more about this int, you can just type here help. So help is again a built-in method given by the Python. So if you want help, or if you want to read the documentation of a particular built-in function, you can just pass the name of the function here inside the help. And if you run this, you will see int is a class. As I said earlier, that everything is in object, so you can say this is a class object, and this this has a two constructor. Okay, so int with x, you can pass the integer, and int x with base 10. So here you can say x is not a number, or if base is given, then x must be a string. So if a base is given, if you define a base here, right, then it must be a string. That's why when we pass the 0x64, right, so that was the string, that's why it worked. But if I pass a number here with base 16, let me just copy the code again, and let me put the separator, print, and if I pass a number here, let's say I'm passing 120 120. This is again a valid number with a base 16, right? But if I try to run the code, what will happen? Oh, let me just remove the help here, because this help, it's not printing. You see, int can't convert a non-string with explicit base. That means whenever you pass a non-string value with a base, it won't work. It will give you an exception. So it has to be a string value. Next, I want to discuss octal value. So I will say, so this will actually convert from base 10 to base 8, and then base 8 to base 10. So if I try to run this, you will see the octal value for 100 is 144, and decimal value for 123 is 83. So let's try to put this and see if we get the 100 value here. So let me just put it here so that we can just reverse it, and you can see the value, octal value of 100 is 00144, and the decimal value of 0044 is 100. So this is, I'm just going to repeat for base 2. Okay. So I just want to show you first this line. Okay. And I will not change this for now. So if I try to print this, right, from decimal to bin, so what will be the output? So if I run this, you will see 0b. This is the representation for the binary, and you will see the number. Okay. So for this, again, I'm just going to change this here, and I will see bin to des, or bin to dec. And if I uncomment this and put the value here, I need to change the base to, you will again find 100. So you will see 100 here. So this is from decimal to octal, and this is decimal to not octal. This will be binary. You'll see decimal to octal, octal to decimal, and decimal to binary, and binary to decimal. So using this, you can convert. You can work with a different base. So next, I want to just highlight one thing. So using this int method, let's say you are having a number, and within a double quotes or single quotes, I mean in a string form, right? So we can say string to int conversion. So if you are to convert a string in base 10, how you can do that? So let's say I have a string, let's say age, and this is 100, but this written in a string. And as we saw in the int, that we need to define the base, right? So if I say age in int, okay, and if I pass the age, this is ager, so this is age now. So our age variable now contains a string 100. So if I, let me print this age, so we'll see the actual value, then we see age in int. Okay, and we'll see the type of age also. We will see the type of age in int. So here we need to define the base 10, right? So if I run this, you will see 100 and 100. So this is coming from here age, and the type of the first 100 is string, and the type of second 100 is int. What will happen if I remove this base 10? What do you think? Will it work? Okay, so it worked. So what does this means? So if you don't define a base in the int function, right, this is by default going to take the base 10, and it's going to convert this particular string to base 10. So let me pass a couple of more strings here. So let me first separate this, and I will just put it here. What if, let me say it variable. Okay, let me rename it variable, and variable in int. So let me put the variable here, and let me put the variable, then its type, and then the variable in int, and then its type. Okay, so instead of 100, if I put, let's say, uh, a here, then what will happen? Before I print, let me change the this variable name. Okay, so this should be variable. If I try to print this now, you will see an exception that this is not a valid literal for base 10, right? So whatever you pass in the string and whatever base you define, that must be a valid string, otherwise it won't work. So thank you so much for watching this video, and in the next video we are going to discuss about floats.